Hey, what's up traders? This is Taylor Horton, and this is a free video for Monday, March 14th. So from my point of view here, I am looking for the market to make a new low. And there's a lot of different things that we could look at as far as, trend and structure. But I think, one language that we all speak is the squeeze. So in terms of squeeze action here, it all kind of starts with the weekly chart. This is week number 1 that the weekly squeeze in the S&P 500 fires to the downside. So now you get the weekly squeeze firing short. Nested inside of that is the 3-day squeeze firing short. Then you have the 2-day squeeze, I think, gearing up to fire short. And then there's a daily squeeze, but in terms of what could trigger the move into a new low, it's actually, I think, that 4-hour squeeze, which, as of today's close, officially fires short. So from a weekly chart down to a 4-hour, you have squeezes with bearish criteria, which basically means they're under the 21 EMA. There's negatively stacked EMAs on these time frames. There's red 10x bars. There's negative histograms. In my book, that's a bearish squeeze. So you got one on the monthly, the weekly chart, the 3-day, the 2-day, the daily, and the 4-hour here. It all kind of sets us up, I think, for a move into new lows. And granted, it's a news-driven market, and we're going to hear from the Fed, I believe, on Wednesday. So there could certainly be some back and forth with the Fed. But in terms of the structure, since we started breaking back down, breaking back here in January, there's been a lot of back and forth. And certainly, these short squeezes, they're pretty violent. But if you look at this market from a 40,000 foot view, this is kind of the ebbs and flows of a bearish trend where we flush from the 21. At that point, you're oversold, so trap the shorts, squeeze them. Then from the 21, you make the next leg to the downside, get oversold, trap the shorts, squeeze them. That trend kind of continues. So in terms of the structure right now, I think the path of least resistance is to the downside. And it all kind of sets up for a new low. So we'll see if the Fed can shake any of this up here this week. But that is what the structure currently suggests. So we're positioned for that right now. We got some shorts in IWM. We got some shorts in Intel. And I would say, the last 8 or so weeks here, the short side has been pretty good to us over here at Simpler. We've had a couple of shorts on Uber. But the key here is you're shorting the bounces. You're not shorting in the hole. So we had a couple of shorts on Uber. I think last week we took profits on Apple. We got out of Apple at like 150, 158-ish. So left a little bit of money on the table there. But we took profits on Snapchat last week. So the key is we're just finding bearish, squeezes on a daily chart or a 4-hour, but we're shorting before they roll over. Trying to avoid being a part of the short squeeze. So in terms of a few things I want to show you here, along the lines of we have squeezes on multiple time frames, and looks like it's going to continue that path lower. One name for you here is Tesla, which I think the path takes us into, at a minimum, 700. And also keep in mind, as goes the market, goes the stocks. So, you get some sort of good news out of Russia-Ukraine. The Fed comes out and tries to work some magic this week. In any event, the indexes rip. The Teslas, the Amazons, they likely rip as well. But structure for structure, Tesla's not looking too pretty here. So we can actually start this on the weekly chart as well. And granted, you've made a pretty significant flush off the highs, but that weekly squeeze still coiling on up there. So bearish weekly squeeze based on our criteria. There's a 3-day squeeze firing short. There is a 2-day squeeze here. And then if you take a quick look here at the daily chart, we haven't gotten a close above the 21 EMA since January. Wouldn't short it here, but if you could get a bounce, as long as that bounce doesn't change the structure, that bounce didn't, nor did that huge rip off the bottom. So again, it's fast and furious, and they're pretty nasty when they squeeze their shorts. But whether it's Tesla, the S&Ps, the Qs, none of these short squeezes have shifted the structure. Realistically, it's your best opportunity to enter a short. So I think on any bounce here, you could take Tesla down to about 700. And then one more name for you here is the big ZA on Amazon. And they pull out the old stock split trick last week. doesn't do it any good. You're not closing back above the 21. We don't have a positive histogram. We're not getting positively stacked EMAs. It's still a bearish daily structure, and if we take this one from top to bottom, you're a few weeks into the weekly squeeze firing short after a lengthy consolidation. If you check out the 3-day squeeze, I think that's teeing up to fire short. There is the 2-day, and then of course you have the daily with your pretty textbook rejection here at the 21. You can see some of the same action back there. So if the Qs rip into 15K, Amazon's going to fly to the upside. But if this trend continues to play out lower, my target here for Amazon ultimately is going to be about 2,500, which takes you into that weekly 200 SMA. So a few ideas for you there on the short side. And in terms of the long side, if there's one dip I think you might want to keep a close eye on, it's a dip here in energy and crude oil. So good looking trend, good looking structure. And if we jump sector to sector, it's the only group out there that still has my buy signals. So you look at a name like EOG, especially on a day where XLE is down a good 2 to 3%. This holds up really well here. You print in buy signals, so that looks nice and bullish. So EOG is pretty solid. I think LNG holds up pretty good here. We've got some EOG in the options room, and then a little bit of Devon here in the mastery. And Devon kind of gets hit with the ugly stick here today. But you do get a bid coming in around that 50 SMA. So not the prettiest afternoon, but in the event heading into Friday, this is back at the 21. I think we might add to that position. We might add to the EOG position. And then, on top of all that, we opened up SPX Iron Condor this morning. And I'm sure a lot of you took John's class a few weeks ago on the quant levels. So we took the H2 and L2 levels for this week and sold ourselves an Iron Condor. We got the Friday expiration, and on the call side we sold the 4300s. And on the put side we sold the 4060s. And to be frank, if this market takes out 4060 this week, just based on how my account is positioned, I won't complain too much. But I hope you all find this helpful. And if you'd like to watch us trade live, next week is Simpler Stream Week. Pretty cool stuff here. So for 5 days, we're going to live stream our trading rooms and give you a nice little live view of our options room, the futures room, the day trading room. And we're doing it all in real time on our Facebook and YouTube channels. And this takes place next week, March 21st through the 25th. So come trade live with us. It's totally free. I'll be there looking for the next solid trade. But in terms of the schedule, on Monday and Tuesday, you can join us for a view into the options room, which is where I am. On Wednesday, you can get a glimpse into the day trading room. And then on Thursday and Friday, we are hooking y'all up with a view into the Simpler Futures room. But yeah, in terms of where I'm trading, I am in the options room Monday through Friday. And the typical session for me is 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Central. So if you found the video helpful and you want to swing on by and watch us potentially try to place a few trades here based on everything we discussed today, we would love to have you. And again, that takes place March 21st through 25th. So be sure to mark that calendar, and I hope to see you next week. But until I talk to y'all next time, trade safe. It shall not be a dull week with the quad witch expiration and the Fed. And then all these bearish squeezes here. But I hope you found this helpful. If you haven't already, go on ahead and subscribe, and we'll talk to you in the next one.
What's up, traders? This is Taylor from Simpler Trading. I wanted to thank you for watching our video, and if you liked the video, go on ahead and comment down below, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell icon to get a notification anytime we upload our next video. And of course, if you want to watch us trade live in real time with our own money, check us out at simplertrading.com. Until then, trade safe, and I'll catch you in the next video.